How long does it take to make a first impression? How many seconds? Shout it out.
3.
Wow, it's not long. 3, sure, okay. Anybody else? How many seconds for a first impression? 30? 10? Okay. You get the ballpark, and it kind of varies. Someone said 3. Now for that person, they may create an impression based on 3 seconds of meeting someone, but typically it takes about 15 seconds or less to make a first impression, whether it's good or bad. So how would y'all feel if I came up here in my pajamas and my t-shirt talking about professionalism? Awkward. It wouldn't be so appropriate. So what's the most appropriate attire for the career fair? Typically this is professional attire. So first impression, again, is visual appeal, how you look, how you sound. So attire, typically for the men, kind of the model for the men, more of a business suit is more professional. Black, navy, charcoal gray, a brown suit, a nice solid colored tie, no flashy ties. Mine is a little bit kind of flashy, not too much, but very conservative. Shoes shined, and the ladies that have actually Bandon and Mary Beth, and also Amber's in the back. This is professional attire. So I'm going to check out the attire for ladies. They're modeling for you. So if you have questions about attire specifically for your gender, just ask us. But again, if you think it's not appropriate, if you have second guesses about it, I wouldn't include it. Moderation on the jewelry, guys, no earrings, facial hair groomed, that kind of thing. So it's all about visual appeal before the factual content. So keep those things in mind. Now let's talk about handshakes. So ladies, no, hey, how are you? Nice to meet you. Guys, all right, sir, very nice. Handshake, firm. So you want a firm handshake. You don't want a weak limp fish or a towel. I call it just whipping a towel, basically. Because what does that say? What type of impression does that give? It doesn't represent you at all. You say, well, I'm confident, I'm assertive, but your handshake is just a towel, basically. It doesn't match. It's inconsistent. So practice your handshakes, and most times you have to do it on purpose. I shake hands with my colleagues. I don't think about making an impression. I already have a job. But you're trying to win an interview and make a good impression. So nice, grab hold, squeeze about 2 or 3 shakes. Not like an oil well, obviously. And don't break their hand, no bone crushing handshakes. But just enough to make a good impression. So moderation is key. And also communication, what you're saying. So speaking of communication, let me talk about my next point, which is handling dialogue. One of the things employees have told us that our students need to work on is the ability to come up to the table. Now you notice with these participants, my hand went out first. I'm initiating the conversation. Now they may put their hand out first, which is good, but it's my goal to initiate the conversation and the interaction, not them. So I'm not going to sit back and chill and wait for them while I'm just browsing the freebies. You can come to me. I'm going to take the initiative to come up to the recruiter. Nice to meet you, I'm Terrence. I'm majoring in business with a minor in political science, and excited to hear that your company is growing, and love to work for your company and be an intern. Can you tell me a little bit more about your requirements for your position? An introduction. So it's my visual appeal, but it's also my factual content. It's how I communicate. And it's also not what I say, but how I say it. So I'm like, I'm Terrence Hood, and I'm just here for the freebies, and that class is over basically, so I'm ready to go home. That's not good, not consistent. So smile, be positive, be upbeat, be authentic. So I wouldn't say be a fake, but you do want to make an impression, because again, you're selling yourself. And if you're the product, you have to present your very best in all areas. So your personal commercial basically is what you use to introduce yourself. Networking nights, career fairs, and even when in a job fair, or even in a job interview, they say, tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you say? What do I include? What's my content? That's your personal commercial, also known as elevator pitch, 15-second pitch. I like to call it your personal commercial. So the idea is to clearly, concisely, and convincingly tell your story in about 30 seconds. It could be longer, nothing longer than a minute. So you don't want to bore the person, you don't want to give them too many details too soon. But when your commercial is done, most commercials last about, what, 30 minutes, 30 seconds? Yeah, the Super Bowl was just, yesterday? Done tons of commercials. But what's their goal? The goal is to get you to buy something. That's the whole point. So when you think about a commercial, the goal is to get audience attention in about a 30-second time frame. My favorite commercial was actually the one about the Doritos. And the goat that was fighting the guy for the Doritos. I don't know if y'all saw that. It was hilarious, by the way. So that was my favorite commercial. But their goal in the humor was to get your attention. Because without that, you'll turn the channel. So you don't want the employees to turn the channel at the Career Expo. You want to keep your audience attention. You're a recruiter, that's your audience. So I want to give you some tips on building your commercial. And this is what I call ADA. This is my friend Ada. I'm going to show you what ADA means. Hopefully you can use it for yourself. So the idea is to first catch my attention, which sounds kind of easy, but you could include the wrong information. Typically, you don't want to say, well, I'm 23, and I'm a twin, and I'm single, and I love to mingle. So nothing personal, but the idea is to maintain professionalism. So you can talk about, of course, say your name, your major, when you're going to graduate, why you chose your major, those kinds of things. So nothing personal. What you want to pursue. I'm interested in learning more about the legal field. I'm interested in internships in the advertising agency. And why you're interested. So not just what, but the why of it. What types of fields, what types of companies are you interested in? What types of internships or positions? The next thing is to capture interest. You can catch the attention, but if you don't capture interest, the attention's gone. That's why commercials are so powerful. They want to get your attention and then capture your interest. So what you could do is demonstrate your research. I logged onto your website, I saw that you guys have a new internship program. So that's research that pays off. So don't just research, but let them know that you've run your research. Communicate that. Let that pay off in your conversation. Mention some of your skill sets. Now, I would say go with your top 2 or 3 skills that are most relevant to the position or to the company. So you may want to draft a master commercial and then tailor it to various companies at the career fair. So, relevant skills. Now, skills like hard worker, it's very, very broad. I'm a hard worker. Dan's a hard worker. Mary Beth's a hard worker. We all work hard. What does that mean to you? Do you take initiative? Do you go above and beyond what's expected? Let them know what that means in your language. Because hard worker is very, very broad. And I hear it all the time. But what does that mean to you? So make sure it's something that's unique about yourself. And then you can even include an accomplishment. Something that you've accomplished recently or something that's giving you a sense of accomplishment. So it may not be an award per se, but maybe you planned an event to help students become more aware of their personality or something that help with avoiding bullying, that kind of thing. So what's important to you? What stands out to you as a unique accomplishment or what's giving you a sense of accomplishment? You can also include that in your opening commercial. And the last thing, and I also mentioned create desire. You create desire for the product because you've identified my needs. If you're selling me an iPhone and I have an old school rotary phone, you have to sell the benefits of me buying that phone because I'm old school, I like my rotary phone. I'm old fashioned, I'm not changing, so why should I choose this iPhone over my rotary phone? It's benefits. Well, I think that your company would benefit from my problem solving skills, my leadership. That creates desire. So attention, interest, desire. And the last thing is your call to action. Now the call to action is very simple, to ask another question. So now it's not all about me. I'm interesting, but now I'm more interested. So question, tell me more about your internship program. What would an ideal candidate look like at your company? Tell me more about your training program. So you end with a question, so now it's back on them, and it's not all about you. So that's how you create your commercial, again with a call to action. Now don't just ask a question, use that information to sell yourself. So they say, well, Terrence, I want someone that can think on their feet, that's a decision maker, that has demonstrated leadership. You say, oh, okay, very good. Well, as you can see from my resume, I've been in leadership for the last 4 semesters here at TCU. I'm known for thinking on my feet. So you're confirming the skills that they're mentioning. So use that to sell yourself. Don't just let them answer the question. If it confirms the skills that you already possess, communicate that to them. So that's your ADA. So that's your new friend, hopefully. So when you build your commercial, think of how am I going to catch their attention? How am I going to capture interest? Create desire based on what they need, and then I'm going to do a call to action.